The following cyclists didn't just walk the walk, they talked the talk. Or maybe it's the other way around. But anyway, these cyclists were tough, make no mistake. Here's who, and here's why. Now, we could not include the Cannibal in our list of toughest cyclists, could we? Although, undoubtedly, Merckx is one of the finest riders of all time, that doesn't necessarily mean he's one of the toughest. But when you factor in 525 career wins, including 5 Giros, 5 Tours, 2 Vueltas and 3 World Road titles, it may actually suggest otherwise. Anyway, it was the manner of the way he set about winning that sets him apart. Hence the nickname, the Cannibal. Merckx wanted to win every time he got on his bike, driven by an insatiable appetite for success. And he once said, "The day when I start a race without intending to win it, I won't be able to look at myself in the mirror." His style was simple, attack, and generally, when he did, the results were catastrophic for his rivals. As well as immense strength, the grocer's son exemplified a fiery, single-minded determination, which was illustrated at its best in the 1974 Giro d'Italia, where on one particularly hard stage he attacked from the gun in atrocious, awful weather conditions, while still suffering from a bout of pneumonia, to topple one of his fiercest rivals, Jose Fuentes. And that ride laid the foundation for the win in the overall of the Giro that year, and also it meant that he went on to win the holy grail of cycling, the treble, the Giro, the Tour and the World Road Championships. Known as the Badger or Le Blaireau, Bernardino was as equally renowned for his tempestuous nature as his physical prowess on the bike, during a career that netted him a quite incredible 5 Tour de France's, 3 Giro d'Italias, 2 Vuelta Espanias and a World Road title. The Breton was respected and feared by his rivals and was a true patron or boss of the peloton, imposing discipline and order and going so far as to often dictate when riders could and couldn't attack. He took pleasure in a style of aggressive, attacking racing that often demoralised his rivals, the 1980 edition of Liège-Bastogne-Liège being a fine example. In sub-zero, snowbound conditions, Hinault attacked with 80 kilometres to go, solo, and ended up winning by quite astonishing 10 minutes, and that was despite suffering from frostbite, which has permanently damaged his fingers to this very day. But the man's character is probably best summed up by himself, with this quote: "As long as I breathe, I attack, and I race to win, not to please people." Italian Gino Batali wasn't just a prodigiously talented professional cyclist who won the Tour de France twice and the Giro d'Italia 3 times, he was also a noble, tempestuous, kind-hearted man who put his own life at risk for others. During World War II, he transported counterfeit identity documents secreted in the tubes of his bicycle frame and handlebars to the Italian resistance, in order to try and save the lives of Jews who risked being sent to concentration camps, as well as hiding a Jewish family in his cellar and leading Jewish refugees across the Swiss Alps. Following the war, he overcame mental and physical illness to win his 3rd Giro in 1946 and his 2nd Tour de France in 1948, cementing his godlike status amongst the Italian people. It wasn't until his death in 2000 that his heroic exploits during the war became known, leading to many posthumous honours. Now, Batali was a man who essentially transcended his own sport and once said to his son this: "If you're good at a sport, they attach the medals to your shirt and then they shine in some museum. That which is earned by doing good deeds is attached to the soul and shines elsewhere." Sean Kelly is one of the true hard men of professional cycling, a thoroughbred with a single-minded focus and the ability to suffer far more than most. And undoubtedly, it was his upbringing that contributed to these hardy attributes. He quit school at 13 to work on his father's farm in rural Ireland. Then he was a bricklayer before embarking on an 18-year career as a professional cyclist, which reaped a quite incredible 193 victories. Kelly was a rare breed. A rider who could sprint, climb and time trial, but most importantly, who could endure the harshest of conditions that cycling often imposed on a rider. In fact, he once said of Paris-Roubaix, which he won in 1984 and 1986, A Paris-Roubaix without rain is not a true Paris-Roubaix. Throw in a little snow as well, it's not serious. Whilst leading the 1987 edition of the Vuelta a Espanias, he had to pull out with only 4 stages to go, in tears and in agony, succumbing to a very nasty saddle sore. But a year later, he returned to the very same race and won it overall, his only ever Grand Tour victory. A stark illustration of his determination, grit, but most of all, toughness. Now we are going to do another toughest riders video, but we want to know who you think should be in it. So let us know in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, if you haven't already subscribed to the Global Cycling Network, click on the globe for absolutely free, and that way you won't miss another video. Now for our cycling rivalries, how about clicking just down here? And for our cycling tantrums, how about clicking just down here? And don't forget to like and share.